Welcome back, everybody. We are going to finish out our absolute value and piecewise function unit with 4.7, starting with what is a piecewise function. So a piecewise function has at least two equations, if not more, that breaks our graph into pieces. So rather than one smooth graph where we can have a starting point and ending point, we actually have 2 different, 3 different, 4 different parts of our graph depending on what equations we have. A reminder that open circles means it's not equal to that value, and a closed circle means that it is equal to that value. And so these right here tell you what x values you can plug into the equation to get your graph. Remember, f of x is the same as y. So take a few minutes to jot this down. So the first part of the example says evaluate the function above. Now, if you can see it on the graph, then you can just use the graph where x is 0 and x is 4. Otherwise, let's start with x is 0. So your top equation says x is less than or equal to 0. And if that is the case, then we use the equation x minus 2. So because 0 is equal to 0, then we're plugging 0 in for x and saying that it's negative 2. So f of 0 gives us an answer of negative 2. The second one, we have x is equal to 4. The second equation of 2x plus 1 says x has to be more than 0. So because 4 is more than 0, this is the equation that we use. 2 times 4 plus 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So f of 4 is 9. I know that's super confusing, so let's do some more. F is f of negative 8. This means they want you to take this function and plug in negative 8. Well, we have to figure out which equation does negative 8 fit into. Well, negative 8 fits in right here. Negative 8 is less than negative 2. And it says if that's the case, then the answer is 3. I don't have an x there. I can't plug negative 8 into anything. All I know is that there's a 3. And so this answer would have to be 3. Number 2, we have f of negative 2. Okay, so where does our graph fit negative 2? Here I have negative 2. There's an equal to. So that means that we're plugging in negative 2 to this equation. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. Number 3. We have f of 0. So where does 0 fit? Well, 0 fits here in between negative 2 and 5. So we're again using this equation and plugging in 0 for x. So 0 plus 2 is 2. F of 3. Where does 3 fit in to these values? Well, 3 is still in between negative 2 and 5. So 3 goes in for x. 3 plus 2 is 5. So f of 3 is 5. When I plug in 3, I get an answer of 5. F of 5. So where does 5 fit into all of these restrictions? Well, I have an equal to 5 right here. So I'm still using the same equation. We plug in 5 for x. So 5 plus 2 gives us an answer of 7. When I plug in 5, the answer is 7. And our last one says f of 10. This says, okay, if I look here, 10 is greater than 5. So it fits into this last one. And it says plug in 10 for x. So instead of 4 times x, we have 4 times 10, and that's 40. This is the end of night 1. Thank you for joining me. Have a great rest of your day.